You ever met a mean tree before? I met one that cleaned me straight off my bike in stage 1 yesterday. Here we are at stage 2, the staging area. This is Nipika. And as you can see, it is breathtakingly gorgeous here. Stage 1 yesterday at Bragg Creek in Kananaskis. I can never pronounce the names of all the places we're going to be. Man, they threw us under the bus right away. 25 miles, about 5,000 feet of vertical gain, straight up right away, and some unrelenting up or down. There was no flat sections in the course to be had. Definitely let you find out right away if you got your climbing legs on. And not only was it just big climbing, but technical climbing. Went down race of spades. Some really good stuff. There's about 350, 400 racers here for Single Track 6. A lot of them local here in Canada, so a lot of them know the trails, which makes for some interesting racing when you're out there, because if you don't know the trails, you're claned in together with people that do. You get this kind of stop-start procedure. So we're hoping today's time trial start. We're starting in groups of 10 based on finish times from yesterday. I finished well yesterday. When you come to a stage race, you got to expect the unexpected. And before I got here, I switched out my regular post for a dropper post, which on the East Coast of the United States I don't usually use very often. But over here, you definitely want to have one. I had one for BCBR last year, and I knew that I wanted one for the stages here for some of the really nasty technical descents. But anyway, I guess I'd forgotten to take out some of the air pressure enough on my reverb, my RockShox reverb, and it blew apart on the planes. So when I got here, no pressure to go. So I had to go to a local bike shop. I found a used Crank Brothers $500 unit. They gave me to it for $100. Unfortunately, it's an untested product for me, and I didn't have the air pressure quite right yesterday. So what wound up happening is, as I'm going up all the climbs yesterday, my saddle kept compressing down about an inch and a half. And if you ever tried to do a stage where you're basically fiddling around with your hand gauge up and down for 25 miles of 5,000 feet of up and down, it made for a really frustrating day for me. The group yesterday went out really hard. If you look at my Strava account, you can go look at the, it was an epic level stress score, which is what I expected for day 1. My stress, my heart rate in the first hour and a half maxed out at my threshold for an hour and a half to begin. I did finally get myself back under control. I hit my reset button, if you will, after my frustration with my saddle. It caused quite a bit of problems. Overall, though, everything went really well. Definitely a tough course. What happened, though, is I got to the end of the course, about 6K to go. We'd climbed a hill or a mountain called Bobcat up to about 6,500 feet. And it was an unrelenting climb, man. Just took everything out of you towards the end of the stage. But at the top, everyone's grabbing water bottles and whatnot. You're trying to get a quick break. I was looking down to my left, trying to figure out what was wrong with my, my grip thing for my post, and taking my eyes off the trail for 2 seconds on a flat, relaxed section. The only overhanging tree the entire course knocked me clean off the bike out of nowhere, smacked me right in the head. I dislocated my first rib here, it comes to find out, when I got back to home base. They had to pop it back into place, man. It was painful. It turns out my good friend Rich, who lives here in Calgary, who's, a veteran of these trails, he got knocked out on the same damn tree. We found out another rider got knocked out on the same tree as well. So that's 3 riders down from this elbow-hanging tree in the middle of the trail. So if you get to the top of Bobcat, make sure you keep your eyes peeled, not just for wild animals, but for trees as well. When I finished yesterday, I was a hurting unit. My traps, my neck, I couldn't turn my head, I felt dizzy. No concussion, thank God. They checked me out. I'm fortunate enough to have friends here that are chiropractors, if you can believe that. So they worked on me all last night. I am loosey-goosey and ready to play. Today's stage is relatively short, about 38K, so shorter than yesterday. We're still expecting some pretty technical single track. Very dry out here. Yesterday we had some altitude, which definitely played with my lungs quite a bit. Today we're a little bit lower. It doesn't look like we are, but we've lost about 2,000 feet of vert compared to where we were in Alberta. We're now in British Columbia. We'll be in British Columbia for the next several stages. Today in Nipika, tomorrow in Radium, then Golden, and then finishing off in Kicking Horse and Revelstoke. So it's going to be a tough couple days. You could tell right away yesterday, some people that have not done stage races, there was some people just blowing themselves apart in the first hour and a half. And there was a lot of people cramping and bonking just 10 miles later. because the course was so tough, and if you didn't budget your energy right, you're going to pay for it not just yesterday, but going into today, the next day, the next day. That's what makes stage racing so unique, is that you can have a good day, you can have a bad day, but you always got to be thinking ahead. Every match you burn today is going to have consequences for how you finish tomorrow. My friends, I'm going to keep you updated. Sorry I didn't have a post last night. I just got finished. I needed to take care of myself first. This is this morning's post for stage 2. I will have another one for you at the end of stage 2, going into Radium stage 3. Until we speak again, rather than smell on your face, pass this around to your friends, and welcome to Single Track 6. Pretty cool, huh? This is the Kootenay mountain range. It's just kick-ass. Later.